Hello and welcome to the One Life Church devotional series where we cover the entire Bible in 20 months. Well, if you started this journey with us in Genesis chapter 1, you have almost got 30% of the way through your Bible. Well done. And if you've joined recently on this journey of going through 2 chapters a day, you can keep going, and we will keep sending to you. When we finish the book of Revelation, you can start Genesis again and catch up. It's been a great delight to be able to share this with you. Now, our 2 chapters today are some of the most famous stories in the entire Bible. 1 Samuel 17 is the story of David and Goliath. I would reckon it's probably the number 1 children's church story of all time. And then Mark 13 is a chapter about the second coming of Jesus, which obviously has captured many people's imagination. So let's go to the story of David and Goliath. Rather than read through line by line, let me give you some of the revelations that I've had over the years on this chapter. The first one is, when David carries 5 things in his hand, who would have thought that 5 pebbles would have taken down that giant? So what's God put in your hand? What are the pebbles that are in your hand? What is the gift that he's given you? What is the thing that he's given you to win mighty victories with? Could be a talent, could be assets, could be friendships. What's God put in your hand? Secondly, remember David was encouraged to wear Saul's armor, and this shepherd boy was sort of struggling around in this massive armor. Remember, Saul was a head taller than anybody else, and he shook it off. He says, "No, I can't fight like this." Who are you copying? Who are you trying to emulate? Whose modus operandi, whose methods are you just trying to cut and paste on you? God has made you unique. You'll fight in unique ways. He'll give you your own unique way of doing it. Number 3, David says, "I've killed lions, I've killed bears, and now I'm going to kill you," to Goliath. And in other words, those lonely battles he fought on the mountaintops, when no one was watching, they prepared him for this big battle. Maybe you're going through that right now. You're going through lonely times where you think, what significance there is there killing this bear and killing this lion? Actually, God's getting you ready. He's getting you ready for things that he has in store for you. And then to think that one throw, that's all it took, one stone, all it took to knock down an entire army. Just one stone. It's like one hammer in the wall comes down. It's not bulldozers and hours, one stone. You are one stone away from victory. That marriage of yours, that problem at work, that issue with your finances, one stone away from victory. Fourthly, your freedom, your victory means victory for others. I mean, in this building today, we hosted a whole lot of pastors from this region. Our breaking barriers, our pioneering, our God's dealings with us has a blessing for others that are walking behind us. As dads and moms and people in their workplaces take courageous steps, people follow behind. You know what happened? David knocks one giant down. The entire Israeli army has a victory. Your victory, your battle, has consequence for people that are walking behind you. And then lastly, this picture is a forerunner of Jesus. David taking out Goliath. Now Jesus came as the son of David. He was obviously in that family line as a king in Israel, but more than that, he came reasonably naked, almost unarmed, and did David. And Jesus comes in a similar way, and yet he takes out our enemy, the devil. It's a great, wonderful picture of the gospel. Let's move quickly to Mark chapter 13. Now, I've heard it said that prophecy, when you look into the future, because this is about the coming of Jesus, when you look into the future, prophecy is like mountain ranges. When you look at the mountain ranges from a distance, you don't know which ones are closer, which one are further, exactly how far. Depth perception, not so good. The fact that you can see a mountain range is impressive, but how far away and which one's closer is not very clear. The same with prophecy. You can see these prophecies, but don't really know how far away they are, which is coming first. Jesus is asked this question. he asked by the disciples in verse 4, tell us when these things will happen. He had spoken about the temple being destroyed, physical temple. There was a play on words with his own body being destroyed, but he's talking about a physical temple. And what will be the sign that is about to be fulfilled? So two things are being answered here. Let me give you a bit of homework to do as you read this chapter. There are two things Jesus is talking about. The destruction of the temple in Jerusalem, which happened a number of decades after the death of Jesus, and also his second coming. These two prophetic announcements Jesus was making. That temple is going to be destroyed. And in addition to that, I'm coming back again. Now, as you read through these verses, ask God to discern to you which mountain peak you're looking at. Are you looking at the first destruction of the temple, or are you looking at the second coming of Jesus? Fascinating way to look at this chapter. God bless you.